Talking with Superintendent Wyeth Jessee once again, and you are on site in a classroom. Talk to me a little bit, or in a school right now. Talk to me where you are and how often you do this.
Yeah, so every Thursday I'm out in schools. So that generally means I'm in somewhere between two and four schools, depending on how long my visit is. And so I've pretty much since I've been here, not my first year because it was COVID, but for since this is my fourth year of really dedicating Thursdays to getting out to schools, visiting with school leaders, coaching them up. What are the moves that we're trying to make? I think a lot of people think leadership and how schools run is sometimes simple. There's a lot of details and a lot of things to do especially to get outcomes for students. So I visit them and then I get out in the classrooms and see things. I don't spend a ton of time in each classroom, so about 5 minutes each and see a variety of things, seeing how it is. And then I coach some more up with the school leader. And then I write postcards, not every time, but sometimes in the classrooms that I visit, depending on how busy I get for the week. Sometimes it
So,
gets a little bit hairy.
so what are you looking for when you go to one of the classrooms?
Yeah, this is really all about actually the leadership for the principal. And so I'm not there to evaluate teachers. I'm there to actually evaluate the principal's ability to lead on their school improvement plan, right? What are the moves that you said and your staff have identified as what you're committed to towards continuous improvement, right? What are you doing in relation to your coaching of staff? What does your professional development look like? How are you utilizing data? What are the students doing, right? Because ultimately, Jeff, it's not about the teacher move per se, but it is definitely in relations to how is the entire instructional program working to better students. So how engaged are they? Who is engaged in the lesson? What was the empowerment of student voice? What are the activities they're doing? Is it very rigorous? Is this using state standards? So, the principal is the one that runs the school. They're the ones that are the lead for the school improvement plan. That is a state mandate. It's a great thing. It's our binding document between what district office and the schools are doing. And so I'm here to see what's going on. My job is oversight, but also the coach of the school leader or school leaders and district personnel.
At the end of a school year, or how often do these student improvement plans get updated? And is it through strictly what happens in the district, or does that coincide too with maybe what OSPI sees for documentation?
Yeah, I mean, there's some things that we do send our school improvement plans to OSPI. They have them. They see sometimes they provide feedback for those that receive Title I services, which is most of our schools as a high need school district. Um, Less and less because there's less of those dollars. That was one of those cuts that we received last year. So, um, I, yeah. So I mean, the principal is the one that looks them over. I look them over. Not so much compliance for that, but is really about what are the evidence-based moves that high-performing school districts use. And it is. I was just meeting. I was over at OBJ actually before Mountain View and I was like, oh, here's the next move. Here's some things to think about. Marianne, the principal there, was already on it. She's got a what we call what is your principal problem of practice? So that she is like, oh, okay, this is what I'm working on. I'm having a hard time fill in the blank. What are some ideas? Here's what my data says. Here's the next moves, and then they go forward, and then I cycle back either in a couple weeks or 1 month, depending on how often again I get this that particular school.
So, do you just walk down the hall and pick a classroom, or has this been prearranged with a teacher, or how's that work?
It's not generally prearranged. I don't believe in a coming out fully announced. Sometimes that can lead to its own challenges when they know the superintendent's coming. I want to see what's authentically going on in the classroom for students. It goes really well, Jeff. I mean, I don't want to build this up as if it's like a I got you or whatever, because again, the focus person's a principal, and they got tough work. My job is not to surprise anybody or get anybody. My job is to help grow the school leader, because if they can do a really good job, then in turn the school is very likely to do a really good job. And again, on their school improvement plan, right? That school, the staff, the families, everybody's like, this is what we're up to. This is what we're trying to do for kids. And so that contributes. And also, Jeff, which is probably, I don't want to get lost in this conversation. I talk to a lot of kids, so they know me. I go around, they're like, there's superintendent, what are you doing? Mr. Jessee. And I've seen your kids over the years grow, and I've had conversations over the years with kids, and we pick up conversations. We don't pick, usually, like we pick some classrooms. Our focus is on ELA, so elementary could be any grade level. I try to get across different grade levels. Some years it works better than others, just on the time I can come, like if they have their master schedule. Secondary, it's been mostly ELA, but I'll go into other grade level CTE classes, math, um, too, just based on some of the things that principals are doing and working with different teams.
Is this where a student would come up to you and go, you know, what you should do is let's have more recess, or let's expand? They start pitching you ideas on what's in there from their perspective.
I usually get a little bit of well, it depends on, some kids welcome me over, other ones want to engage me in sometimes a off the cuff conversation. Believe it or not, Jeff, the number one thing I get asked is, how tall are you?
Sure.
I was talking to high schoolers yesterday at SHS, and they asked me, and then they're like, "Wait, are you really 6'7"?" I go, "Yeah." All I have to do is take my hands and just
Huh.
shift up and down to the middle schoolers, and they lose their minds.
I bet.
They're like, "Wait, are you 6'7"?" And it's so funny because that's all you need is just some hand movement, and it's just a good connection. Then I usually talk about books mostly. What are you interested? How's it going? And the kids are really forthright. It's great. Yeah, I love this book, or I love this series, and they'll get talking to me about it. And then other kids are like, yeah, it's okay. And then I'll see them the next time. They're like, oh, I found one I like, Mr. Jessee. It's so good. And I'm like, I can't put it off at home. And so, we just get into all those things. And how's the notes? And what's the character like? And yeah, it's just living in their world, right? Like, how's it going? Are you engaged? You know what you're learning? Yeah. What are you working on right now? What's your learning goal? Kids are really good at it. It's a good way to also tell if we're hitting the mark, right? Like, are we engaging these kids? Are they having fun learning? It's really evident when you talk to a kid.
Well, I'll let you get back to it, to the classrooms then at Mountain View Elementary, home of the Vikings, right?
Home of the Vikings. Yes, things are going well here today. I'm really excited to be here, doing some work on special education in this particular visit today here at this school site, so I can help them out.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the time, and we'll check in next week and see what else has been going on.
Thanks so much, Jeff.